Welcome to Victoria, British Columbia, Canada for our continuing coverage of the 2013 Ford World Men's Curling Championship. There you see mile 0, the beginning of the Trans-Canada Highway here in Victoria. Victoria is at the south tip of Vancouver Island along the Strait of Juan de Fuca. Population of about 350,000 people. Flowers in bloom already here. Beautiful temperatures this weekend, around 18 degrees, nice and sunny and warm. But we are inside now the Save On Foods Memorial Center for draw number 9. Teams just marching out now for the opening ceremonies. Our matchup today will be Sweden, sitting at a 4-1 record against Switzerland, who is 2-3. I'm Rick Watson, joined today by Armin Harder.
Morning, Rick.
Good morning, Armin. Armin is with the Swiss Curling Association, so he'll have some insight on their team as well as probably do some translating for us.
I'll try to do my best, yep.
So Switzerland sits at 2-3. How has their week gone so far?
They actually played very well. We've had 2 games we've lost, probably more due to time management and rushing in the last ends as opposed to poor play. 2 wins that we may have been able to notch up. But boys have been playing well, so I'm quite confident we'll have a good game here.
So Sweden sitting at 4-1. Their lead is Victor Schell. Second is Fredrik Lindberg. Third player is Sebastian Kraup. And their skip is Niklas Edin. They curl out of the Karlstad Curling Club in Karlstad, Sweden. And the Swiss team, go ahead, Armin.
Lead Simon Gempler, and in for Sandro Trollet is Benoit Schwartz in today's game. Claudio Patz at 3rd. And Sven Michel from Adelboden, Switzerland. And their coach is Robert Herleman.
So the standings heading into draw 9 this morning. Canada still undefeated at 5-0. A 3-way tie at 2nd with China, Sweden, and Scotland all with 1 defeat. Denmark and Norway at 3-2. And there you see the Swiss at 2-3 along with the Czech Republic. Finland picked up their first victory last night. They are 1-4 along with Japan and United States as well. Russia still looking for their first win. Other games on the ice this morning. Over on sheet A, it's the Czech Republic facing undefeated Canada. Our game will be on sheet B. Sheet C will see Finland facing Russia. And over on sheet D, it's China looking to move into a first place tie with Canada facing Norway.
Sven, I saw you had a fan on Facebook. Fan? Yeah. You know who John Rennie is? Half laugh, you still number 1 in my eyes, sir. Oh, I didn't saw that.
There you see Niklas Edin. Team Sweden kind of had a slow start to the week. They started off 2-1, but they squeaked out victories over Finland and Russia, and then lost to China, but they've gotten on track since then. Had quite an impressive victory over the Czech Republic yesterday. So,
yeah, they'll probably continue to get better as the event goes along. Typical start for the Swedes. We basically, except with the exception of Canada, we were a chance to win the rest of our games. Canada just, right now they're hitting unbelievably.
Yeah, there was some questions over how or some uncertainty over how the Canadian team would perform here, being their first trip. But they are undefeated thus far, almost halfway through the event.
Still a long week. Lots can happen.
Switzerland sitting at 2-3. Don't want to drop a fourth game. This is an important game for them. So Sweden has the hammer in the first end. So Simon Gempler will take the first shot of the game, throwing yellow stones.
It'll be important for Switzerland this morning to manage the clock a little bit better. They've been certainly throwing well enough. And if they don't end up having to rush in the last ends, where we've made our mistakes, we've given games away against Norway and Scotland last night by doing that. I'm sure the boys will keep their eye on the clock a little bit better early on in the game and manage that time a little bit better.
Victor Schell is the Swedish lead.
These teams both have faced each other numerous times over the season on the European Tour and at the European Championships.
And just a reminder that teams must play at least 6 games in these round-robin games. They each have 73 minutes to complete their stones, and they can have 1 interaction with their coach per game. Quiet takeout and roll there from Schell.
Here we see Benoit Schwartz in for Sandro Trolle. Sandro having some knee problems. Schwartz plays regularly with Peter de Cruz out of Geneva, former world junior champion.
So Switzerland lies 2 without the hammer here in the first end. Fredrik Lindberg is the second for this Swedish team.
He's all over the guard.
A little bit light there.
A little opportunity for the Swiss. Puts on some early pressure.
The Swedish team likes to throw the big bailout shots at times, but the two Swiss stones that are in the house now are spread apart enough that there's no double there.
Just trying to guard up that front of the house. Try and set up the steal. Nicely played.
The guard is placed on the center line to guard shot stone. Sweden will attempt to follow down shot rock. Nice line and weight. Sweden lies 1. Now Claudio Patz will be asked to duplicate that shot.
That's a problem with Gempler's rock sliding behind the tee line early on in the first shot. It's really not optimal for the Swiss, but still have room here to be shot rock. Got to get right down to the face of it.
Just squeaked by the guard. Well, they can't get shot stone out of it. There you see it bend around the guard, but just a little bit light. It is buried, but it's not shot stone. That red Swedish counter is still on the button, counting 1. Sebastian Kraup is the Swedish third. Trying to just corner freeze to that Swiss stone at the top of the forefoot. You see, if the Swiss were to hit that stone on the left side, it would jam onto their yellow stone at the top of the forefoot.
Might be able to get to the face of it and push it to the back of the 4-foot or back of the 8-foot.
Mikkel was looking at the raise on the guard.
Looks like they're trying to freeze to it now or something, corner freeze to it maybe. Get on the inside of it if they can, that would be ideal. Just guarding it. Swiss wouldn't be too upset if they could force the Swedes into one in this end.
Yes, Sweden is lying 1 already, so they're basically hoping that they can plug up the path of the 4-foot and limit them just to that 1 point. Just squeaks by that guard. Looking to tap up that red stone.
Looks like they're sitting 2 now, eh?
Oh.
No, wasn't a lot of room
doesn't
there.
Get much closer than that.
There's a.
See, Sweden is lying 2 there.
There's a double opportunity there, maybe even a. I don't think that red one's going anywhere. That's sitting shot at the moment. Swiss have to be careful here. They don't lose both of their yellows.
Sven Mikkel is the Swiss skip. Trying to run back their yellow guard to remove both red stones, but they just get rid of 1. Sweden continues to lie 1 on the button.
Hålet finns ju på outen. Det gör inte så mycket. Man går an i röd. Sätta den där eller sätta den i klykan. Vänta där på väldigt sorterare. Ja. Däremot så öppnar jag upp, alltså tar tunt hamnar så blir det ju riktigt dåligt. Måste jag ha fart nästan igenom för att säkert få ner det. Om vi får ner det, ja. Men det tror jag vi får. Men alltså, inget finns det.
There's not much of a hole there to get through. We might be able to get around the outside and tap that red one up again.
Yeah, that long yellow guard is coming into play here.
Which is covering the red one on the right-hand side up in the 8-foot.
Yeah, just outside of your picture.
Vi har ju alltid den här knacken. Och ett hål som är helt riskfritt. Man gaddar upp och får bort egen på det. Ja, funkar på det. Känns som man måste gadda den här nästan. Kan vi vänta med knacken sen? Knacken blir ju bra om jag sätter den. Det finns ju ett hål också, så att jag knackar ner den och rör lite grann i det här. Kan jag sätta en hård i hålet och lägga 4. Som ligger nu har han ju inte, han har ju ett hål och går ner och chappar med en hård clearing. Men den här tar inte vägen någonstans heller ändå. Så.
He seems to think you can get through the hole with a clearing, so he might want to plug that up, or you can actually come down with that. If you can get through that hole, you'll be sitting 2. Get to the nose of that with a takeout. He shouldn't lose his red one. The back yellow one will go. I think that's what they're trying to do. Just come through that port.
That's a tight port.
Yeah. The thing is, if he opens up that guard, he'll leave the Swiss an opportunity to double those 2 red out. They'll come down to that themselves.
Yeah, that high guard is in a good spot for Sweden right now. Swedish skip Niklas Edin has won bronze at the last 2 World Championships.
Okay, just playing guard weight here.
So he's trying to guard the
The
left side as we...
left side, the 2 yellow bump on the left-hand side. Yeah.
Exactly.
Risk över curl, risk över curl. Bara stanna. Gärna gå i den yttre till och med.
Seems to be over curling a bit. And gets a bump back in. Yeah, I see what he's doing there. Okay. He's worried about that yellow removal. Swiss might just concede the point here.
They're looking at what Edin has left with his last rock,
which is basically only that little bump on the red. In turn, I'll try and take that away. So lots of rocks in play here in the first end already. Swiss do like to mix it up.
Yeah, quite often you see an open first end, just exchanging hits, getting a feel for the ice, but that is certainly not the case this end.
Again, the Swiss will need to be aware of the clock. Manage that a little bit better than they have been.
So there's the guard that reduces the in-turn path a little bit.
There is an in-turn. Yeah. To tick off that. That hole's big enough with an out-turn. Come through there with speed right down on top of it. May come off theirs. Come onto the yellow sitting on the left side of the 4-foot.
Yeah, wick off their red at the top of the 8.
Edian likes to throw these hard ones, so he's going to have some speed on this because he pretty well has to throw it straight. Most he'll do is 2.
De ligger i och för sig lite overlap och det är lite luft. Jag tänkte typ att vi skulle spela en, alltså inte en clearing då, utan en...
That hole probably looks a lot smaller from the other end.
Yeah, once you have to throw it. I guess if he wicks off that stone that Krupp just touched and hits the crotch of the first and second shot, he could remove 2 yellows and score 3.
I think he'll move his own if he comes off it. So.
So final stone here in the first end for Nicholas Edin. Couldn't quite navigate that port. So just a single point here for Sweden in the first end. They will take a 1-0 lead over Switzerland heading into 2. Back inside the Save On Foods Memorial Center for the 9th draw of the 2013 Ford World Men's Curling Championship. Some school kids are taking in the action this morning. Our second end is just underway between Sweden and Switzerland. First stone from Victor Schell as a centerline guard. And Switzerland will draw in behind it.
Be very important here for Gempler to keep his rock in front of the tee line. That entire end in the first end all rotated around his rock being sliding behind the tee line with his first shot. So he'll want to get this into better position. And that's a better shot from Simon Gempler.
Over on sheet C, winless Russia trying to pick up their first win against Finland, sitting at 1-4. And Finnish skip Aku Kauste looking to blank first end, but he will hit and stick to pick up a single point.
So both teams here vying for control of the front of the house. This needs to curl quite a bit. It's looking a little bit long. it starts to come down now. Doesn't want to bump. Nestles up there nicely.
Good spot by Ryan Fry. Opportunity to get a deuce.
Linjen är bra.
Vi är bara nära.
Kör då, kör då.
Vi är bara gard, vi är bara gard.
Nej, kör, kör. Det är bra, kör. Det är bra.
And that comes up short.
Det gick dåligt här nere, så det är ingenting att släppa en gard heller.
Switzerland lies one at the back of that line of stones.
They'll be looking to remove these front guards now. If they could run it back, maybe get some action off the rocks that are lying in the house. Just misses that. Leaves the corner guard though. Not so bad.
Som en hård. Den går lätt om du får allting dit om chappen. Chapp. Håller nu också. Kommer curla lite grann här, men...
Well, they want to stick around, don't want to leave the open hit, or pardon me, open draw for the second point. Exactly what Jacobs will have. Stress-free.
And Lindbergh will get rid of all of them. And just like that, we only have one lone red stone in the house.
But the Swiss have corner guards, so that's positive in that. And then now the opportunity to go behind it.
Live update now over on sheet A. Canadians skip Brad Jacobs with the final stone of the second end. First end was blanked.
Good brush, guys.
That was an open draw for 2 points. He will put it right on the button. Take a 2-0 lead through 2 ends over E.G. Sniddle and the Czech Republic team.
Swiss second, Benoit Schwartz made a nice draw around that guard. Krupp just misses those two in the house, but does remove the guard. Rolls over to the other side.
The shooter stuck around and looks like Mikhail wants to draw around it to lie 2.
It's important here that they're somewhere in the house, nicely spread out. Robert Hurlimont, coach of this team. Curled a number of years with Christoph Schwaller. Stopped 2-3 years ago and has taken over this team as a coach now. And this is coming up short. Not a very good shot from Claudio Petz. Opportunity to make 2 is gone now.
There's Swedish coach Eva Lund. Very decorated curler. He played with Annette Norberg for many years. So we go from Switzerland having a chance to lie 2 to now Sweden lies 2. for the hit and roll behind those two wide corner guards.
I might have opted to roll the other way towards the red and maybe blank this end somehow. This roll here is pretty tough. Looks like he changed his mind midstream.
Over on sheet D, a whole mess of rocks in play. Thomas Ulsrud with the last rock in the first end, facing China. China came in with a 4-1 record. Norway one game back at 3-2, looking for the angle raise.
For 4 here if he makes it. It's the wrong one.
Contacts shot stone, but can't remove it from the forefoot, so it's a steal of 1 for China there in the first end.
Remember the Ford World Men's Curling Championship in Victoria.
Nose hit from Switzerland, a nose hit from Sweden. Sweden lies 2 again.
So far this week, the weather has been very nice outside.
We're on to skip stones now in the second end here.
We head to ice level 2013.
Looks like Mikkel will now attempt the double takeout.
Canada gets a simple deuce in that second end.
Still hoping for a blank end. Doesn't want to get stuck taking a single point.
Following that, leaves us 2-0. Canada leads the Czech Republic.
Got 1, got 2, and rolls out. It's too bad he rolled out because this will give the opportunity for Edin to go in behind the 2 guards, and the force is still on then.
Yeah, if he had stuck around, he would have forced Edin either to make a play on the stone in the house, or if Edin chose to draw around, he would have risked giving up a deuce.
Just spin back to make sure it hangs around in the rings.
Vänta då. Vi kan vänta. Kör långt. Den är lång.
This is certainly not slow. Looks like it might be wide open.
Well past the guards.
Past the front, trying to get at that one, touching the head.
Not buried at all.
Past the front, they do, will make the hit. Rolls back 12 foot. Another opportunity to try and hit and roll. Both guards are not in the best position because of where it sits.
So Sven Mikkel looking for the hit and roll out to blank this second end and retain the last rock advantage into the third.
Looking good. Job done.
So a blank end here in the second end. Sweden continues to lead 1-0.
Vad har ni för tid?
Lots of flags represented here in the Save On Foods Memorial Center for the Ford World Men's Curling Championship. The two countries on our sheet are Sweden and Switzerland. First stone of the end once again is the center line guard, and Switzerland will draw in behind it.
Switzerland had an opportunity to make two in the last end. Claudia Potts coming up short with his draw. Allowed the Swedes to get out of that. They'll want to keep this in front of the tee line. Nicely done. I think they might need to do that shot. They're come down to their own. They're leaving that angle raise. And we know how good the Swedes are at those. I think I like this call. Freeze down their own. They end up losing both of them. Oh, nice shot. Good angle, too.
Yeah, if that top yellow stone is contacted, it'll punch the red right past the other yellow stone in the forefoot.
Nicholas indicating he just wants to push the red back into the forefoot. Victor Kell. This is moving. Looked like it picked something or just made a big jump anyways.
So it crashes on the guard.
The Swiss could come through and just punch their yellow onto the red. The red is gone.
There's a small hole there, enough for a rock to slide through.
Yeah, just control weight. Just get it off the nose. Maybe you can get some separation on the yellows. Big shot here for the Swiss to set up an end. like a hog line violation or something.
I'm not sure what happened there.
And it's showing red, so no, hog line. Yep.
You can see he's still contacting the rock as it touches the hog line, so the sensors detect that and the red lights start flashing.
That was an important shot too. Give the Swedes an opportunity to get out of this.
Spela sjuan, det finns ingen hål. Touchar du egen så kommer du förmodligen få den så ändå. Touchar du bara den är det helt okej också, ändra den där vinkeln så. Lite utsida, en stop emellan. Tror du kan gå lite rakt här, men du får ändå is för den här träffen.
That's the first hog line violation I've seen this week. Have you seen any, Rick?
I haven't seen any this week, and I actually didn't see any at the Briar last month in Edmonton. An update for you over on sheet D. Norway giving up the steal on the first end. Thomas Ulsrud looking to pick up a single point here in the second. Sweepers dragging it all the way. You need to get fully into the 8-foot. And Norway will pick up their single point to tie things up with China after 2.
So a nice raised takeout by the Swedes. Swiss trying to come down to this. Rolling behind. Nicely played. Benoit Shorts, after a hog line violation, comes back and makes a nice shot for his team.
Dean eyeing up that hole and to access shot stone.
This is something the Swedes can do. They can really fire the weight, keep that rock accurate. Sebastian Kraut.
He wrecks on the front and rolls out. Switzerland will play a takeout weight on their front yellow there, which will remove the red that it's frozen against, and then roll away to the wing so they spread out their counters.
Gotta go hard.
Looks like he's inside and light, which is a bad combination. A wreck on that red guard.
Still not a bad position for the Swiss. It's not exactly what he wanted, but still laying in pretty good position. Just touched that front yellow one and that red one is gone. Edin will be very aware of that. Try and hit and roll into the 4-foot here in front of that yellow rock behind the tee line.
Hit and roll.
Just too far. This sets up a double.
Yeah, he wanted to roll in front of that yellow stone in the red rings.
Just hit that yellow on the top, just off the left side. Just rolls too far.
Would have liked to stop right there.
Right there, yeah. And you hit this rock on the right-hand side. Canadians are facing it.
You see those two reds are lined up perfectly with the yellow.
We'll get some drag effect on this.
There they go. Taking now over to sheet A. Czech Republic facing 3 Canadian stones. Czech skip E.G. Snittle needing to draw full 4 foot, full 8 foot, sorry, for a single point. Czech Republic lost both their games yesterday, and a tough start to the day facing Canada this morning. But he will put his draw right on the forward logo and pick up a single point. So that is a 2-1 Canada lead through 3 ends of play.
Swiss would have liked to have hit that rock a little off the nose. Got some separation on him. This will allow Edding to make that. Just misses it. Very close. Well, he had some heat on that, eh?
Yes. Looks like Switzerland just lies 1.
Timed one yesterday, threw like a 4-second takeout. So Swiss would like some separation. Lay shot for second. Those 2 red rocks on the front of the house are a little bothersome. Difficult to remove without jamming. Need to sit second or shot with this one.
They will hit and stick to lie 3.
Looks like they're lying 3.
Over to sheet C for an update with Finland and Russia. Russia looking for their first victory of the week. Drawing against 1 Finnish stone, I think it is here.
One, it looks like, yeah.
Let's get full 4 foot. Nice weight there from Skip Drozdov.
He's drawing against.
So they are all tied up 1-1 through 2 ends of play.
Big shot here for Aiden. Swiss line 3 with the hammer. It's 1. It's 2. So a draw for 2 for the Swiss here in the 3rd end.
So a missed opportunity in the 2nd end to generate a deuce. Sven Mikkel has a second chance here in the 3rd end. Needs to draw full 8 foot for his second point.
I kind of like to see my sweepers sweep these right to the button. Those build Skip's confidence.
Well, they'll take it to the 8-foot. That's all he needed. 2 points for Switzerland here in the third end. And they take a 2-1 lead over Sweden. Welcome back inside the Save On Foods Memorial Center. Our fourth end is just underway with Sweden and Switzerland after the Swiss picked up the first deuce of the game to take a 2-1 lead. The first stone of the end comes into the house. Sweden will put up a corner guard now. So Victor Schell curling 88% in the event so far.
Where does that put him for the?
He's tied for fifth.
88%, and he's fifth. Shows you the quality of the leads here.
Simon Gempler, a few percentage points higher at 89%. He's third amongst all leads here.
That's where you want your leads up in the 90s if possible.
Yeah, they're generally not complicated shots that they're playing, but they're crucial to setting up an end.
This guard's just a bit too long, actually. Can almost come around and take this out, probably.
Lite kort, bak fyra bara. Nej, bakåt bara.
Kör, det blir snabbt. Kör.
Just tap the back.
Switzerland continues to lie one, but their shot stone is now behind the tee line.
One corner freeze on that red one. Seems like a lot of curl on this in-turn side.
Benoit Schwartz curling 82%.
That's just about 1.5 games, I believe.
He played last night at the lead position, I believe. Did he not?
He came in halfway through the Canada game, and then he played last night again. So that's 1.5 games.
Frederick Lindbergh curling 87% for the week. He's fourth among the seconds.
Sandro Trolli, Swiss, out with a knee problem. This rock is sliding down to the face. Nice shot.
Update for you now, China-Norway over on sheet D, 1-1 and playing the third end. Chinese skip Leo Ray sitting at 4-1 in the standings, facing 2 Norwegian counters here. Needs full 8 foot for a single point. Sweeper's just cleaning it. And it'll go to the button for a single point. So China leads there 2-1 after 3 ends.
Swiss just a little long with their draw. Bounce off the shot rock. Flop to the open side. This will allow the Swedes to come down. Hit and roll inside. And really get the pressure on the Swiss. Just needs to curl quite a bit though. Coming now.
Freeze right to the face of that.
We couldn't sweep that because it was wide.
Sweden lies 1 with the hammer here in 4.
Wenn ich darum verfehlen, tappt er da, dann liegt er mit 4 da vorne. Das finde ich, das ist nicht verfehlt. Der muss ich auf jeden Fall mitnehmen, wenn ich das
Wenn es der müsste 100 pro vor.
Das ist ja auch gut.
Ja, ich finde.
Das ist ja auch gut.
Man muss her, meiner Meinung nach.
Ja, aber das ist ja auch gut. Ja.
Wenn er darum nach hier legt, sind wir erschossen.
Nein, wir liegen gut, wenn wir Freeze legen.
He freezes into the crotch there. That'll be the best spot. Swiss in real danger here if not making that shot. Could end up looking at 4 Swiss rocks in play. Those 2 yellow ones are gone pretty quick. Big shot here for Claudio Patz.
Patz 89% for the week. Second only to Canada's Ryan Fry.
Well, this is coming up way short again. It's the second time we've seen him come up really short. I'm just wondering if they got a bad rock there.
Men den här måste vi någon gång få bort också. Skulle kunna dutta på det där nu också, få ner den här lite grann, men det riskar vi. Har vi utsida kan vi lägga upp en trippel. Ja, nej, jag gillar frysen. Ja, frys till en till där då. Jag har ju ettan garanterat, den får de aldrig bort. Exakt. Jag vill nog ha lite mer än Heder.
trying to get into that pocket, take away the freeze in the part.
Sebastian Kraup is ranked 6th among all thirds heading into this draw.
Vänta då, den är långt ut också. Du kan köra hela vägen. Köra hela vägen, helt lugnt. Kommer nu. Helt lugnt. Men köra, gärna köra. Ta en frys nu, ta en frys Micke. Ta en frys. Japp. Lätt.
That's where the Swiss wanted to be with theirs. Whew.
Update you now on sheet C. This is Finland against Russia. Finland's Aku Kauste drawing for 1 against like 2 or 3 Russian counters.
Suunta aika hyvä. Kohta. Lähellä.
Looks like he needs to tap shot zone just a little bit back. And he taps it just, no, not quite enough. It's a steal of 1 for Russia there in the third end. They'll take a 2-1 lead, looking for their first victory.
So the Swiss just scrambling here, trying to protect. Those 2 yellows.
Look at all those rocks lined up.
Fortunate for the Swiss is that the Swedes need to use the Swiss guards to remove this.
Niklas, du spelar nästan lite mjukare. Dutta ner.
Trying to move a bit of granite now.
Går det garden och vi får en till skjutsten här, inte hela världen. Bakåt.
Sweden lies 1 with the hammer, but they'd like more than a single point here.
Looks like they've opted to try and come around and tap the one in front of the 4-foot back into that pile. Try and pick up a second shot.
Or at the very least, just put another rock in there that can be used later. Nice touch. Sweden does lie 2 now. Great shot from Kraup.
Ligger den kvar också? Man kan sätta ner den.
See, they played it tight to the guards.
Perfect weight.
Great work by the sweepers. Rehydrating after that work. Sven Mikkel, ranked 7th among skips heading into draw 9.
Eller sätta den rätt ner på den. Då kommer vi peta den lite så. Den här ryker alla gånger.
Really a dangerous situation here for the Swiss.
Det är den här vi måste få bort den.
There's a lot of red stones there on the top of
Those yellow rocks
top
back
of the
there could
house.
be sprung pretty easily.
Ganska lätt för en singelgarden. Då har vi fri den på slutet. Ja, exakt. Det där är den svårare, bara dubbla.
Fortunately, there's a whole pile of granite in front of the house too.
Ja, jag tycker vi har ju båda. Vi har ju den här också.
Ja. Vi har alltid någon typ av trippelskjutning ner sen med.
Det känns som att sätta ner den chapp. Så liksom, rulla ut. Den på
Ja,
noll.
nej, det är det bästa. Ja, vi kan ligga många
Det är en mer naturlig träff känns som. Den här
Does have an angle
bara den och den kommer dra iväg.
there.
Kör den, det är helt okej.
We know Nicholas can throw that weight.
Ja, jag tänkte clearing. Alltså bara få träffen så ligger alla fyra ligger kvar som de ligger nu.
He'll have to play some sort of raise, I think, to get.
Ja, man får precis chapp och
Get
vara
out there.
fullt som det kan röra om lite. Men de där två ligger alltid kvar där.
Looking at that guard that was just thrown by Mikkel. Drive that straight back onto the red that's the top of the 8 foot at the 12 o'clock position. Drive that straight back. Could get rid of both yellows.
Doesn't need to get rid of the yellows. He just needs to move them out into the 8 foot, and he's already laying a whole bunch.
Din 8 här, Niklas, den gick ganska ärligt.
Ja. Det var ganska aggressivt.
Ja, alltså min skjutning här, den var ju kastspelad. Så det är...
Så här tror jag. Inte allt för mycket Kalle, tror inte jag heller. Nej. Sätta ner en chapp på röd eller lite utsida på röd.
Sätt utsida då.
Ja.
Kind of shot Nicholas just dying to throw. Throw some weight at it. Yeah.
Sätta ner den här lite utsida på röd där nere. Försöka behålla garden.
Swedish contingent, including Pale Lindholm there on the right.
Oscar Eriksson, former world junior champion.
Nästan oavsett. Kalla över så kommer ändå behöva ligga kvar för en ny skjutchans.
Spare.
Millimeter till bara.
So, by the time the dust settles on this stone, Sweden could be lying 5. Nicholas Edin tied for 3rd among skips. No, he needed to curl more.
Jacobs has to find a way. Can they get another one in to lie? Hart stays out front. Geez, Nico playing solid in this one, keeping his team in it.
Eller så? Nej, ja, men det är svårt schwierig.
Ich finde, wir müssen jetzt fast hier noch einen legen.
Also der är nach kall. Der vor allem zweiter Jahr, så får du noch den spielen.
Ja, aber der geht nur für 2. Weil sobald er hier wieder einen hat, kann er den anspielen, so dass er hier drauf schießen kann. Im Moment kann er ja mit dem hier brechen. Im Moment kann er höchstens hier brechen.
So Sweden has the hammer throwing red stones. They lie 2 right now.
I think he doesn't have much option. Just kind of guard it up and keep that guard away from those rocks. I don't think there's much you can do. You're going to have to concede these 2 points.
The only other option would be to bite the button like Pets is pointing to now.
Yeah, but that does leave you open.
Wenn wir zumachen, hat er hier wieder einen Stein.
Wenn von dem genug sieht, würde ich Guard spielen.
Aber ich meine, ja.
Sieht etwa, sieht etwa ein Drittel, Viertel, Drittel. Viertel, Drittel.
See Sandra Trillett on the left, Andy Schwaller, national coach, on the right.
Nicht sicher.
Glaub mir.
Head over now for a live update on sheet A between Canada and the Czech Republic.
Im Moment kann er Liechtenstein so treffen, dass er hier trifft. Im Moment kann er
Canada is lying 1. But the Czechs have 2 stones on the top of the 4 foot. Canadian skip Brad Jacobs trying to get a second point in there. Trying to wick off his shot in the 8 foot.
Real close.
Oh, did he bump it too far? I think he did. Valiant effort there. But it's just a single point for Canada, so they will take a 3-1 lead over the Czech Republic through 4 ends.
So I'm not quite sure what the Swiss have decided here. Looks Looks like he's trying to draw to the button, get a piece of the button. I don't know if that was a good idea. Comes up short. He's Edin with an opportunity to drive one into the pile here.
Bara nudda den stenen så får vi, båda gula kommer i alla fall ut från åtfoten.
Jag tror vi kan spela en hård clearing. Se vad som händer. Alltså, försöka få en på den.
Not that tough a shot
Jag vet
either, I
inte hur
don't think.
mycket effekt det blir på det där. Jag får inte
Just drives that red straight back. Gets a piece of that one on the top of the button. Might be able to move both yellows far enough.
40% tror jag.
Certainly easier than his last attempt was.
Yeah, you can't place that rock there. That's just
Tjockare
nuts.
än det. Det kan aldrig bli för tjockt.
Jag tror en tredjedel funkar också för att få träffen där.
Ja, fast då är det inte mycket träff på det.
Jo, men det...
Ja, jag tror det funkar, men
jag tror
det är på gränsen. Ja. Så tjockt som möjligt, men jag riskerar inte att gå i garden.
Ja.
Sikta på en halvträff, samma som förra.
Ja.
Halv ungefär. Mellan halv och tre.
Spelar du med lite fart eller?
Samma som förra. För 5. Du behöver bara träffa stenen i princip. Ja. Inte tunnare än en...
Jag tror du kan spela en lite plus till och med för att få mer effekt.
Jag spelar en normal clearing, 6,5.
Ja.
Halven är optimalt, va?
Ja, tunn halv tror jag.
So with his final stone here in the fourth end, Nicholas Edin looking for a 5 spot. Looks like he'll get 4. They might have at least 4. They might measure for the 5th point. Sven Mikkel just brought his last stone in too deep, made that run back quite straightforward for Edin. They were lined up perfectly.
Yeah, you can't go in there, give him that. Can't make that shot so easy for him.
Jävla perfekt omgång. Jag har inte sett något liknande. Bra. 2 klossfrysta.
Here's another look. Yellow lines right up, straight back onto the red, which bumped both yellow Swiss stones out of the 4-foot. And it's a huge end for Sweden. They'll measure to see if it's 4 or 5.
It's a 5.
So it is 5 for Sweden here in the 4th end. They will jump out to a big 6-2 lead through 4 ends of play. China and Norway playing each other over on sheet D. Here in the fourth end, Thomas Ulsrud with the hammer, drawing for a single point against 2 Chinese counters. Ulsrud sitting at 3-2, China at 4-1. So this is a big game in the standings. And the sweepers just clean it into the forefoot. And that will be a single point for Norway as they tie things up with China. Back over to sheet B. This is our game, Sweden and Switzerland, with that big 5 jumping out at you on the scoreboard. Nicholas Edin and Team Sweden had Switzerland in trouble that entire end with all those rocks in front of the tee line in the forefoot. And with his final stone of the end, he capitalized with that short raise to remove the other 2 yellow stones and pick up 5 to take a 6-2 lead.
Sometimes you have to just recognize the danger that you're in, and they throw a guard up front, and Yeden's got a really tough shot to do that. So you give him 2, and you're down 1.
Yeah, giving up 2 would have been a moral victory in that situation.
Too risky, that shot from Michel.
They'll sweep it behind the tee line, in behind cover. Sweden peels off the guard. Over to Finland and Russia on sheet C. Russia lying 2 there. Aku Kauste with the final stone in the fourth end. Rex on the guard on that takeout attempt, and it will be a steal of 2 for Russia in the fourth end. So Russia looking for their first victory here, leads 4-1 through 4.
Just move that red one out from the cover. Removing that guard. Doesn't want anything lying around. Still lots of game left. It's only the fifth end. Ooh. Just about catches that yellow one. Make it 2 here in the 5th, and you're back in the game.
Yeah, they just need to chip away.
Actually played pretty well.
Long center line guard from Switzerland.
Försiktigt! Försiktigt! Wow, 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 nej!
Hur lång är den?
Nej, nej, nej! Nej,
Hur lång är den? För 4.
Frys! Frys i luften!
Krupp will kind of draw in between those two stones in the house.
Waarom goed, Totten?
Wer så gut, wenn ein roter auswählt.
Aber du musst 12 på.
Trying to move to 6-0.
Har ni fler med här?
Try and run back. They'll go off of their own. Play. Jacobs miss.
Claudio Pats would like to hit and roll to the side. He'll remove that one red stone from play. Got a little bit out of an outside roll.
Swiss do have rocks in play. Opportunity to make a couple here.
Dean will ask Krupp to make a double on those two yellows that are next to each other. He'll lose the back one.
Well, that leaves 2 yellows behind the guard. Opportunity to hit and roll off that. Hit and roll behind the guard.
To lie 3.
Needs to get on the inside of it though.
A little bit of an inside flop.
Very nicely played. And behind cover.
On to skip stones now.
Tillbaka samma gard igen. Då måste jag nästan dra på min sista. Därför vi måste skjuta och sätta tripperna.
Manager.
Out and
This
drop.
one over. Right on the feet, sits side 8-foot. Draw now for Schmidl. Tying things up, heading to the 5th and break.
So Eden being forced to remove this guard. There's not much play he has on the back ones. Would only be able to remove one. Trying to remove this guard to set up a double or something for his last rock. Take another look at it. I don't. You can't double those out without having to remove that guard. You can't get at the back one because the angles aren't there either.
There's a live update for you on sheet A. Czech Republic and E.G. Snittel lying one already, looking to pick up a second point and tie this game against Canada. Needs to draw fully to the 8 foot. Sweepers will need to drag this. And they just got it there.
Good sweeping.
Good effort from the sweepers. So the Czech Republic will head to the break tied up with Canada.
Gotta be happy to be there with 5 ends against Canada. So Swiss laying 2. Probably an easy double for Edin, the way he throws. Kempler saying it doesn't matter where we put the next one, he's going to be playing the double anyways. The thing is, don't set up a triple.
Exactly.
2 points get you right back into this game here. And after that 4th end, happy to take anything. Get you back in the game.
Wenn wir einfach hier kommen und er frei steht, dann können wir maximum einen machen. Wenn wir hier freisen, wenn wir hier legen... Wenn du da bist, dann macht er einen Freis. Ja, also legen wir raus. Wollen wir hier legen? Ja. Aber er schmiert recht ab irgendwann. Ja.
Even if they give Edin a double, they'll conceivably still have a hit for 2.
Yeah,
so
I mean, Edin's got a freeze on the back one. If they're going to play it to the outside, Edin's got a freeze in the back one. But I don't think he'll play that. I think he'll be happy just to double it out and give up 2. I don't think he'll take the risk of drawing a freeze, giving up 4. And what you don't want to do is put him so that he can do a triple.
So Sven Mikkel will draw to the open side of the house, trying to spread his yellow counters apart as much as he can.
Make sure this sticks around at the back of the house.
Wants to put these 3 stones in line with each other. That's pretty good.
Edin will go for the double.
Certainly not an easy double.
Well, he's got the heat. He can throw those. Come across the top of it, maybe even stay shot.
Ingen monster dock, tror jag. Nej, jag tror det räcker med en vanlig
Intern here.
Du får med rotationen också på gränsen. I en curlinghall, ja, men här tror jag att det flyger på ganska bra. Ta lite extra.
Swiss hoping for a break here, that he only gets 1 and rolls out.
Känns som den behöver vara ganska hård, men
Ja, jag tror inte det här.
kommer härifrån också.
Jag vet, men inte här tror jag.
Dra lite extra fart. 2/3. Får vi någon typ av uppgrund så är det väl bra. Kan komma in bakom garden. Lite lurigare. Det är dock jävligt svårt. De måste ha 3/4. Den säkert får ut stanna på det. Det går inte på det. Borde gå lite rakare här.
Got 1. Rolls over. And got 2.
He will remove it from play. Nice shot from Niklas Edin.
Jag går på toa.
And the shooter even rolled a little bit behind, or stuck behind the centerline guard a little bit, so that'll complicate things a little bit.
Outside.
Sounding pretty good and looking very good.
So there's the deuce from Switzerland, answering back after giving up a 5 in the previous end to Sweden. So we will head to the 5th end break with Sweden leading 6-4 over Switzerland. So how did we get to this point? First end, lots of rocks in play. Nicholas Edin trying to navigate that port to get 2, but he wrecks on the front. We'll have to be satisfied with a single point. On to the 3rd end now. After the 2nd end was blanked, Sven Mikkel looking to answer back with the first deuce of the game. And he will draw into the 8-foot for 2 to take a 2-1 lead. But his lead would not last long, because in the 4th end, Sweden had Switzerland in a whole bunch of trouble. Sven Mikkel's last guard attempt slid too deep, and Edin punches it back to remove 2 yellow stones, and after a measure it would be 5 for Sweden to jump up 6-2, and they lead 6-4 at the break. And there are other games this morning. Czech Republic is tied with Canada, playing in the 6th end. Russia leads Finland 4-1, and China and Norway are all tied up at 2.
Jag ser ganska mycket vid början också. Jag är lite halvmissar. Jag gör ju ganska mycket missar, och Niklas också missar. Men den här gången är det låter snart. Ja. Det är för att vi har så små missar. Jo, så är det. Hålla bättre fot.
So after 5 ends of play, score is 6-4. Both teams curling at 81%. Sweden has the edge on draws. Switzerland has the edge in hits. And no points have been stolen. Everything's coming with the hammer. That 1-5 by Sweden sticking out. We're back inside the Save on Foods Memorial Center for the start of the second half of this game. Simon Gempler will deliver the first stone, curling 95% thus far in the game. Victor Schell curling 98%, near perfect.
Inte på slutet nu, den kallar iväg nu. Bara stanna där. Okej.
So Switzerland wanting to continue to stay on the offense, steal a couple of points.
Go, 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 go.
Good.
Like to get it top of the 4 foot, top of the 8 foot, behind the guards. Nicely played. Swiss will need to try and do some things to generate some offense, but don't have advantage of last rock. Gunnar Schwartz playing 78%.
Ja, linje! Tia! Hij draait echt niet! Lenge schot! Tia!
Ja, ja.
Oh!
Trying to draw in behind this. Oh, nicely played. In a good position there. Eddie not having any of that. Just gets past that one, top of the 8 foot, stops in the back of the 4. Swiss will replace that guard. Very important for the Swiss to place well at this World Championships after a 9th place finish at last year's Worlds. looking for Olympic points, wanting to qualify direct in the top 7 teams from this Worlds and the last Worlds, qualifying direct for the Olympic Games. 8th team obviously being Russia as host nation. And those teams that don't qualify direct have one more opportunity next year in a separate trial. All those teams that played at the last 3 World Championships not qualifying direct have a chance to go into an extra last chance pool and play out for the last 2 spots. But the Swiss not really wanting to go there. You'd really want to go in direct if possible. And direct competition with USA, Denmark, China. Those are the teams here that are competing for those points. New Zealand, which is 5th at the moment, didn't make it to these Worlds.
Claudio Pat's only curling 63% thus far.
Struggled with his second rock.
A couple key misses in the 2nd and 4th ends.
Came up short on both of them. Now I don't know if they changed that rock. Sometimes it's the rock, sometimes it's just
the thrower.
Playing bad, but you think it might help to do something different? Or if you suspect, just change it. Doesn't hurt. France and Germany would also have been vying for those points. They didn't make it to this Olympic or to this Worlds. Czech Republic with 1 lone point, 12th spot. So they'll be looking to make points too.
Kraut peels off the guard. Switzerland will replace it.
No. Linie war nicht schlecht, hä?
Wow.
No.
Länge ist auch gut.
Macht alles selber. Alles selber.
Wow.
That one we missed everything, slides right by.
Nicely placed guard.
Trying to get maybe a little too, trying to catch that one on the side. Airball's the peel attempt.
Kom inte runt så.
Right. Everything. That one missed the top one. It might get right.
So Edin had enough of peeling guards, looking like he wants to draw in now on top of that shot rock that's sitting in the back of the forefoot.
Get a miss from your opponent. You're thinking you're putting the guard back up.
Switzerland does lie 1, so Sweden needs to make a play on shot stone eventually.
Ni har den. Bajt enfoten är bäst. Linjen är bra. Bajt enfoten framför till eller nedflyt.
Current European champions.
Perfekt linje, ta det lugnt. Perfekt linje, ni har den. Är den med? Japp. Du klarar, japp. Hårt.
Just rubs. Just missed the sweeping call.
Yeah,
A little late.
Waited too long.
Bra spel.
Might have been a little lighter than Edin expected it to be.
Det bringt inte förbättra det dock nog. Första vecka.
See, Kraut thinks it's good. Oh, it's not.
Just
Crashed
a
on the
hair
guard.
earlier.
Dan leunt er hier, was macht
It would have been perfect. Opportunity for the Swiss.
Wenn er naar hier hadden, leidt naar. Dan kan je niet meer maken.
Guarding it, there is that one on the side. Probably.
Oder?
The real option. Getting past.
Ja, målet är bra.
Nur gerade tappt.
Ja, ist gut. Gut, ich bin verstanden.
Kann man
1-4.
wicken.
Dan gaat het ook alles liggen weg.
Aber nur diese Länge, oder?
Hinten 4, hinten 8.
Ich glaube, wenn ich ein bisschen wecken kann, ich kein Doppel
Ja.
machen. Oder?
Gut.
Das brauchen wir echt so. Ja, sagt schon, bitte, ja, ganz wenig jetzt Platz.
Ja.
Ja, aber es ska alltid extrem am Schluss.
Hä?
Es ska alltid extrem am Schluss.
Ja,
Ja, ja.
in der Nacht.
Ja, maar vorher alles auch kurz gewesen.
Aber es hat nicht härter, oder?
So the Swiss will try and get on the inside of that red rock that was just played by Crow. Just tap it back and flop inside. Try and lie two.
Here's a live update for you on sheet A. Canada and the Czech Republic. Czech Republic lies shot stone on the button. Brad Jacobs trying a very difficult flat in off here. He will just nose that stone, so it's a steal of one for the Czech Republic. And they will take a 4-3 lead on Canada after 6 ends.
Very nice rock by Swiss. Sitting two now.
Det är nog för fel.
Antingen insida på med den på. Klippar jag den så riskerar vi i alla fall inte 3. Limmar i frysningen, då följer vi efter Pet. Han måste egentligen dra här liksom, för att det ska bli risk för att vi ska tappa något mer.
Would have liked to have maybe pushed that red rock back just a little bit further and come in off the red, maybe even roll up into the button.
Lägger vi dit den och han limmar den bra, då kan man bara klippa någon av dem.
That rock had been just a little bit further. That wouldn't be possible.
Då drar han ju dit. Då har vi ingenting. Kommer han dit och följer vi efter. Lägger han sig på 10.
They do also have a possible out-turn draw into the button. Looks like they're opting to pick that out.
Skulle jag blaza
They
och
pick
ta
that
den
out.
så alltså,
Swiss have a
alla
nice
träffar blir bra
pocket
egentligen
to draw
för att gå
to.
i garden. Klipper den översta. Han får ju en chans att dra en perfekt. Lägga tillbaka den där den ligger liksom så jämnt som
The
möjligt.
Swedes always looking at that option for the last one off their own.
Det är den som är farlig i alla fall. Drar han ner fryser där bak. Visst, han kan lägga 2, men då kan vi följa efter det i alla fall. Ja.
You see a nice lineup here.
Sedin looking for the pick on that top yellow stone. He'll pick it out.
Fortunately for him, he didn't move that red one. The Swiss would have liked to have seen that red one disappear. It still leaves him that in off on his own.
Ja, aber wenn du anfriest, ist es gut.
Ja, aber wenn ich hier komme, ja, wenn ich hier käme, wäre gut, aber ich weiß von dieser Seite nicht, wie hier
Wir
spielen.
würden auf jeden Fall von da spielen. Am Schluss hat es ein riesen Finish auf dieser Seite. Du kannst ihn fast ganz verstecken.
Wenn er
Nog
hier
kant
liegt,
zon.
Da ist er gut. Das ist auch gut.
Ja, ja, genau.
Ja, hier ist schon nicht so gut.
eigentlich sollte ich diese Seite spielen, aber ich weiß das Eis nicht gut.
Da können wir, oder?
Können wir auch, ja.
Ich meine,
So.
Hier wäre gut, Benno.
genau.
So Armin, what was the discussion there?
Well, they were talking which side to play. If Michel wanted to play it from the out turn, but they know there's a big finish here on the in turn, so they can bury it nicely.
Ja, får det super.
Discussion took a little longer than it should have, I would think.
So looking to just replace that
Yeah.
shot that was just removed
Same
by
shot they put in.
Dean.
Get a piece of the button and then hope for the best.
Sven Mikkel curling 90% thus far. This is his final stone of the sixth end.
Don't want to touch the red one. Just a honey of a shot there.
Nicely done. Leaves it in front of the tee line, which is important.
The Swiss have played well in this game. It's just a questionable call in the fourth end. It cost them a big end. Sweeper's working this nice hard. Really important they don't touch the red one. That would have set up a double for 3.
They're able to tuck it around that top red. Well, Sweden's in trouble here. Switzerland lies 2.
I don't know if Eddie might see enough of it to take both. Possibility there to take both for 2.
Here's Nicholas Edin only curling 70%, but has a 6-4 lead. Trying the thin slash double, and he will wreck.
Steal of 2 for the Swiss.
And just like that, we are all tied up. 6-6 through 6. Over to Finland and Russia on sheet C. This is the final stone of the 6th end. Finnish skip Aku Kauste trailing 4-1 at this point. Trying to get back in the game with a deuce. Needs to draw full 8-foot to uncount that yellow that he just bumped, and he will do that to pick up 2 and trim Russia's lead to 4-3 through 6 ends. This is draw 9 of the Ford World Men's Curling Championship inside the Save On Foods Memorial Center. There you see the last 2 ends, a bit of a turnaround. A deuce by Switzerland and then a steal of 2 to tie the game after they were down 6-2 at the break.
Important here for the Swiss just to stay focused. Keep fighting.
They certainly have momentum on their hands. Four points in the last two ends for the Swiss.
There's a nice shot. Coming up quite a bit short. Go inside. This will allow Edin to hit his own, remove that yellow counter, and maybe get some separation on his own rocks.
Sweden lies 2 with the hammer here in the 7th. Didn't get the roll. Flying shot though. And there's still center guards up for the Swiss.
Bra fart!
This will need to move up a bit too. Gets it on the outside and rolls out.
It's a miss by Sweden.
It didn't quite touch the barrier. That means it doesn't get removed from play. Camera guys are right on everything, aren't they? Don't miss anything.
Oh, like me. Oh, this way. No. Hey, good.
Nose hit, and Switzerland lies 1.
Just rolled too much. Wanted the roll, but didn't want to roll quite that much.
Trying to roll under cover.
So give the Swiss an opportunity to do the same thing. Roll back into the middle.
Ja.
Sven Michel holding the broom for Claudio Paz. He's got 2 guards to roll behind. Trying to get it right across in behind that center guard. Almost makes it. Half covered. Kropp will try and remove that. Rolled to the corner. Looking pretty good. Nice little roll. Good shot from the Swedes. Straight raise, take out.
Trying to make the double peel, open things up. So double peel is made.
Skate, de shooter, die Garde. Das ist möglich.
Combination. Needs to be guarded.
Där tänker jag bara.
Sven Michel's first stone of this end. He'll run it back. Switzerland lies 1, but it is exposed. And unless the Dean can hit this and roll behind a guard, it looks like we're headed towards a blank end.
He's got a couple of places to roll. He's got a center guard to roll behind, and he's still got the one on the corner to roll behind. So there's a couple of options there for him. Ideally for the Swiss, if they could force the Swedes to take one in the 7th, and then have the hammer in the even end. Sweeper's working as hard.
Sweeping it for a line.
Get it past. Oh, it hits it on the nose and stays.
So now Sven Michel with his final stone would like to hide his stone behind a guard after he removes the red Swedish stone.
They'd really like to force the Swedes here to take one here in the 7th.
Long conversation was where they put it.
Working as hard. Good enough of a roll. Just
Nice shot.
It's partially covered.
I think that will force Edin to either draw for one or attempt a run back.
They could pick that and keep the hammer. the last rocks. You can see half of that.
Probably see half of it, yeah.
I don't know why. I'm kind of surprised right now.
Yeah, Dean generally tends to favor the takeout shots.
You want to pick this and keep the hammer going into the even end, opting to draw here. Nicholas Edding, last rock here in the 7th end, trying to outdraw one in the 8-foot. Sweeper's not letting the broom do it. Get into the sliding path, start breaking down.
And it'll stop in time.
And it will.
So a single point here in the 7th end for Sweden. They will take a 7-6 lead, and Switzerland will have the hammer in 8. Checking in on the Czech Republic and Canada. The Czechs giving the Canadians all they can handle. The Czechs lying 1 here in 7.
Draw to.
Brad Jacobs needs to draw fully to the button for a single point.
Line's good. Gotta curl a bit. Line's good. Great sweep, guys.
Great judge of weight and line, and sweeping. The Canadians pick up a single point to tie the game with the Czech Republic through 7.
And who said he can't draw? He can not only hit, he can draw also.
Back on sheet B, it's a 7-6 lead for Sweden.
So Swedes are up 1. Swiss have 2 hammers to 1.
And aside from that big 5-ender from Sweden, the Swiss have done quite well for themselves. They've picked up 3 deuces in the game.
Pats has picked up his game here in the second half also. Just one questionable call there in the 4th. It costs the 5. Just allowed them to get themselves into a bit of danger. Fighting their way back. Good character game.
Both leads in the high 90s.
Kempler's draw in the first one, going behind the tee line, seems to be his only mistake. Where you got a lead throwing like that for you.
Jag gillar slå och vicka på den där. Till gard! Ja, eller slå och vicka. Jag kan vara på
Needed a little more weight. Might have been able to roll in behind the corner guard.
Jag kan vara på den. Ja, det är okej. För sig så är det jobbigt ifall vi lämnar dem ha den här någonstans här. Nej, jag tycker nog den, ja. Har vi ändå 3 stenar fram, står de och vickar så... Ja, vi måste bli av med den någon gång tror jag ändå. Normal. Helt upp. Halvträff snart. Bara stanna om vi går. Bra spel.
Finland, Russia on sheet C. 4-3 Russia in the 7th end. Russian skip Andrei Drozdov. Trying to get through that hole and pick up more than one, but he will wreck on the guard. His shot stone is on the button, so he gets a single point to take a 5-3 lead.
Just swept that a little too late. Swedes will like to hit, maybe roll inside here, stick around. Don't want to allow the Swiss the opportunity to go around that corner guard. Nicely played. There's a hit and roll off the top though, double out.
Here's the numbers for the seconds. Lindberg with a slight edge.
The only second full game for Benoit Schwartz, coming in yesterday during Canada's game against Canada. That's not a very good shot.
He will remove one Swedish stone, but shooter rolls out. Sweden peels the guard. Almost got a lucky jam there to lie 2.
Goed in there.
Nog één is.
Ik wil 0 maken. Niet goed. Vind je niet goed?
Ja, we hebben nog 4 stenen. Ga je maar zo. Weer op. Hey.
Ik vind 0 beter als een voor. Goed.
Ja.
4 Swiss rocks to 3 Swedish rocks.
Czech Republic getting some mistakes from this Canadian side.
Just noses it.
Sebastian Kraup with an edge at 3rd position.
Sneller, veel veiliger.
Just not getting the rolls.
No, they're trying to roll to a freezed position on that corner freeze position on that stone that's just out of the rings.
Klipper bort den uppåt åt andra hållet. Han verkar ha landat. Han kommer försöka snedfrysa. Stor risk att han kommer liksom utanför bord på det. Tänk att det kanske är dumt. Nej, kör på det.
Yep.
Well, by rolling out here, allow the Swiss to try and freeze to that corner one. If they opt to do that. And they're not. We'll just go for the blank end.
We went from a lot of rocks in play the first half of this game to not many at all the last couple ends.
Just a couple of half shots here didn't allow a setup for anything. 93% for Michel against 71 from Edin. This game should be actually one-sided with those stats.
Well, it was. It really has been on the scoreboard. Besides that 5 by Sweden, you take that end and make it only a single or a deuce by Sweden, and Switzerland is
a different game. Yep,
was well in front.
But you got to play 10 ends. You can't play 8 or 9.
Yeah, you can't take any off. Nicholas Dean quickly delivering this stone. Will hit and stick. And now Switzerland will attempt to blank and retain the hammer into the 9th end.
Klapdag. Sök att långa wenn damen kommt.
Ja. Dat gaat niet iets toe, zat in.
Klap is niet met hoes, nee.
So Swiss will just try and blank this end, take it into the 9th. Mission accomplished.
So that end settles nothing. Switzerland will retain the hammer into the 9th end, trailing 7-6. Welcome back to the 9th end of this draw 9 matchup. Switzerland with the hammer, trailing by 1. First stone just stays outside the rings.
Stuff. Off. Kommt off, piece of it.
To get more of that protected is now Schneidel facing one in the forefoot protected.
This has got to come down a bit. Take her right back.
Live update for you here on sheet A. Canada lying 1, and Czech Republic skip Jiří Schneidl needs to draw fully to the forefoot for a single point to take another lead on Canada. Looks like nice weight. And it'll stop just in time. So that's 1 for the Czech Republic. Saw frustration from Brad Jacobs. Must not be happy with the way they're playing.
Swedish draw over curled, a little long. Swiss still laying shot. Opportunity to draw another one in there. Simon Gempler, solid all game.
Achtung länge. Not so länge. Not so länge. Yep.
Nails the top of the forefoot. Just top 8.
clearing är det.
Men clearingen risk att det blir den här. 8 är inte okej, bara kämpa så också. Kör det.
Frederick Lindbergh being asked to drive his own guard back onto the Swiss rock. Maybe catch both of them. Might have pushed it out a bit. Jams on his own. And leaves the corner guard.
Over to sheet D for China and Norway. Norway lying 1. Chinese skip Leo Ray. He's unable to pick out shot stone. And that's a steal of 1 for Norway, so they'll take a 4-2 lead through 8 ends of play.
Swiss really with a good opportunity here. Got to bury one behind this corner guard. It's got to come down now. It's very long. Starting to come down now. A little bit long. Swiss laying with 3.
And they do have the hammer here.
Triple opportunity here. Just see enough of that. Oh, he'll be driving that red one back. Lots of rocks back there to take with it. Does he have any of them? Yeah, he gets one of them.
Got one.
Good separation now.
Yeah, really, if you were going to pick one to get out, that's not the one. You would have liked to have kept 2 Swiss stones grouped together.
Or at least take one and leave your shooter there.
Ja, hat immer einen Winkel. Hier ist gut.
Genug Eis geben.
Nein.
Läuft. Zack.
Hier.
Zack. Besser. Gut.
Schauen.
Zack.
Was länger aus. Nehmen wir den gleichen Anchi. Bis da.
Needs to be T-line. Not much more.
Norway steals another.
Komm, Klein, komm noch ein bisschen. Go.
No scoring second half of that one. They start the 9th end. Norway needs a win to bring China back to them.
Over on sheet C, Finland and Russia.
China comes in 4 straight wins.
Finland trailing 5-3.
Now tied with Russia. Gets
Skip Akukauste with a hit and stick attempt to pick up 2 to tie things up at 5. Sweepers are just cleaning up. That usually indicates it's pretty close. He will hit and stick, and there's 2 reds. So they are all tied up, heading to 9.
Swedish trying a double here. Get 1, get 2.
Great shot.
Very nice shot. The Swiss will try and get some separation between those rocks again. It's just one of those shots you don't see the Swedes miss too often.
No. No 2 stones are safe.
Swiss will want to roll away from it again. Don't want to angle too much. There's separation there.
Medine will
There is an angle for a double.
call for the long double again.
Clearing. That's back clearing on the också. Runt 2/3 för dubbel, men den är ganska flat.
Double may be difficult, but he'll certainly want to get his rock near that Swiss one. See the Swedish bench looking on. This looks like a nose hit. And it certainly was. Does change the angle though.
So Switzerland will look to hit and stick. Lie 2 again.
Andy Schwaller on the right and Robert Hurliman on the left. Coaching staff for the Swiss. Now that angle's there for a double. But there's not much more the Swiss could have done with that.
Halv med 8 då. 8, vilken är dubbel? Går att rulla ovanför, men det ska ganska mycket till. Ska smita ovanför.
Chance to make the hit on it.
Aldrig.
Sweeper's not laying the broom to it.
Dean looking for the double takeout. There's the hit.
He'll just rolls across.
Roll
the top
across.
Of it.
Does stay in play. Switzerland will just ignore it though. They'll choose another spot to draw to lie 2.
Aussen 4 würde ich gehen. Gut.
Should draw top of the 12-foot. Has to be better than the Swedish counter.
Oben würde ich. Hier. Dann, wenn die Doppelversuch
They
geht,
want an angle so that they can't double them out.
Nicht lang. Ja, ja. Wo ist er? Sehr kurz. Hilf mir!
You've got to work it hard. It has to be there. It has to be second shot. That's a nice shot there. There is a double opportunity there. Slash across the top of it. But he'll lose the shooter if he makes it. And the Swiss could blank that end again.
But if Adine does not make this, looks like it'll be a deuce for Switzerland.
He has to be careful he doesn't jam on his own on the other side too if he hits it too thin.
Jam it, so it's a draw for 2 for Switzerland. There you see he needed to hit either a little more thickly or a little more thinly.
A little more thin, he would have jammed it on his own probably.
Yeah.
He would have given up a 3 then. One down with a hammer in the 10th end is not a bad position to be in.
What?
Sollte genug sein.
Vier Fuß.
Line that one. No, it's top 12 foot.
Ja. Sieht gut aus. Schau,
Ja, gut.
schau, der hat mehr als genug.
See what Jacobs does if he is content.
Well, that's going to stop soon. Well done.
And there's the deuce for Switzerland, and they will get an 8-7 lead through 9 ends. Who would have thought it when it was 6-2 Sweden?
Quite a roller coaster game here.
But we have a 1-point game heading home. Well, this gentleman, I think, has been to a curling event or two. All those pins on his hat.
Quite focused, too, so quite intense on what he's watching.
Welcome back inside the Save on Foods Memorial Center for the 10th end of this battle between Sweden and Switzerland. Sweden is trailing now 8-7, and they have the hammer. Looking to put up the corner guard here, generate a deuce for the win.
The Swiss will probably go for the steal. Simon Gempler solid all game. 2 half shots that he's missed throughout the entire game so far.
Good. Work ethic.
Switzerland draws in behind. Sweden will follow it down.
Tappa lite just nu.
Linjen är bra.
Freeze-tap.
Hela den är säkert ner i alla fall. Tappa för skottet. Ja. Seppe går. Ja, bara gå nu. Linjen är bra. Hela den tappa. Bra, Seppe. Bra. Fint. Bra där.
Try and get it to the inside of that one. Victor just played.
Ist auch gut.
Benoit Schwartz coming in for the injured Sandro Trollet. Not sure if Sandro will be back. This is looking a little long. That's not a very good shot.
Linjen. Nu är bra. Fight 4. Perfekt linje. Farten är okej. Farten är bra. Behöver kalla lite. Farten är där. Den hänger. Farten är där. Den hänger fortfarande. Japp. Ta det fyr som det går. Gå. Fint. Bra där.
We'll update you now on Czech Republic and Canada. Brad Jacobs attempting to make this double takeout for a blank in the 9th end. And he will peel that rock over top of the stone in the house, so it's a Czech steal. And the Czech Republic will take a 6-4 lead over undefeated Canada heading home. So Canada is on the ropes.
And there's a better shot by Benoit Schwartz. Removes one red rock, takes the backing away from the other. Swiss will need to make sure that Sweden doesn't make more than one.
Linjen är perfekt. Perfekt linje. Victor närmast. Den har
Victor Kill trying to come right down on top of his own. Line him up behind that guard. This looks like it's over curling. No. Right behind the guard.
Over to sheet D for China and Norway. Norway leading 4-2, playing in the 9th. Chinese skip Leo Ray drawing for a second point to tie this game up. China in a second place tie right now in the standings. And the sweepers will guide it into the 4-foot. So 2 points for China and a 4-4 tie with Norway having the hammer in the 10th end.
Swiss slowly getting themselves into trouble here. That rock just hanging wide.
Så där och gröta till det i mitten också. Full 4 får ligga 2.
Krupp trying to draw it down on top of the two behind the tee line. Another shot into play. This is hanging out too. Not curling. Now it comes.
Finland and Russia over on sheet C, playing in the 9th end. Russian skip Andrei Drozdov facing one Finnish counter on the button. If he can punch that through the hole, he could get 3 here. But not hard enough. So Finland remains shot stone. They'll pick up 1 point on the steal, and Finland will take a 6-5 lead into the 10th.
So need to come to the nose of that red rock. You really got to move now. Don't want to bounce off it. Not a bad shot. Needed to get a little more to the nose of it.
Dean wants to talk about this one.
Jag vill bara frysa. Det blir inget bra. Den här ut där. Men jag vill inte göra det. Så. Jag vill inte göra det. Jag vill bara ligga här. Det blir inget bra. Du trycker ner den här. Jag vill inte dutta. Jag vill bara komma hit. Du behöver bara 2. Ja, exakt. Det är därför jag bara vill komma hit. Kommer jag hit är det okej. Ja, eller slå det. Jag har kant. Bort med den. Jag har inte så mycket luft, Niklas. Jag har bara kant. Det är inte, jag gillar inte slaget alls. Vi ligger en. Träffar lite fel så... Den här tar ju automatiskt den här träffen. Ligger perfekt där. Den ligger perfekt där. Den bort. Jag vet inte om jag gillar dutten.
Bring that yellow one out. They'll lose the 2 red ones in the back. But that will leave them covered with the front one. Pia Lindholm, Oscar Eriksson looking on. Eva Lund, coach.
They'll call timeout. They want to bring one of those coaches down.
Eva Lund.
Vi måste bort med den här frysningen. Den är andra sten helt fryst. Då kan de bara gadda in där. Jag tycker frys med lite... Ändra vinkeln på något sätt. Det är frys eller spela en take. Men kommer jag chappa?
1 minute
Kommer jag chappa på en chappa?
coaching interaction.
Det kan vi alltid klippa på här. Den här sitter alltid här också. Den kommer aldrig flyga. Det de har, det är den här sen. Ja, men de har det. Men alltså, nej, men de har ju mycket som helst att jobba på här. Alltså, vi kommer med dutterna. Jag vill inte dutta ner det här. Ha en sten här bak. Jag vill limma.
Om vi limmar den, då duttar de. Då har de en out på sin sista.
Och då duttar de och då slår vi.
Då ligger den ju där. Då kommer vi inte bort den. Det är nu vi kan få bort den.
Nej, det kommer ju röra sig. Vi kommer ju peta in den. Alltså,
Ja, men säg att du lägger en frys där då, så där man får hård. Allting ryker ju. Om de nu skulle vilja det. Duttar vi ner den här så lägger vi upp en.
Lägg den här då.
De kan få in någonting.
Lägg den här då.
Duttar de ner den. Och vi fryser, de duttar ner den.
Jo.
Duttar de ner den.
Men alltså träffa lite utsidan, vicka ut. Gör dubbel på mina. De får slå vicka in. Ja, jag tycker här. Vi har ju minst skilje. Alltså, det ligger bra. Jag tror man får bort det sen. Jag tror det. Jag gillar verkligen inte take-it.
Jag vet inte. Jag var först inne på dutten. Samma igen liksom. Komma lite insidan. Det här blir inte bra. Alltså, om jag trycker ner
Jag gillar inte take-it heller.
Du vill inte spela den, jag förstår.
Nej, men det handlar inte om att jag inte vill spela den. Hade Niklas spelat den hade jag inte heller velat spela den.
Quite a discussion.
Jag tycker det är ett felslag. Det ligger bra. Vi ligger hur farligt som helst när jag limmar dit den. Vi kommer alltid ha nytta av den.
It'll be difficult to remove that yellow rock without losing the 2 back ones.
Yeah, I think either way you want to play something quiet.
I don't think it'd be too... Well, you play too quiet. You're just leaving that yellow one there and jamming on the back.
The clock continues to tick for Sweden. Less than 4 minutes now to play their remaining 3 shots.
Removes that yellow one, loses the back red ones. His red one in the top of the forefoot is covered by a guard. Still have an opportunity for 2. They're coming down. Looks like they're drawing down here. Swiss still have a timeout available to them, I believe. They may want to look at the next one a little closer too.
They're playing a freeze to that Yellowstone, trying to get to the inside of it. A little bump, they'll roll a little bit to the inside.
Swiss now have a possibility to bump their own behind cover a bit.
Du bist wahrscheinlich hier.
Du musst nicht unbedingt Shot werden. Du musst einfach...
Nein, dann spielt er da.
Freeze-Tap.
Aber das kann
So dünn wie möglich treffen.
Oder muss ich dumm drehen?
ich immer Möglichkeit, glaube ich.
Du kannst ja schnell kommen. Schnell findest du gut.
Schnell fände ich nicht gut, weil das muss unbedingt bleiben.
Ja,
weil sonst kann er nur hier
aber
so.
das bleibt sowieso das Rennen.
Muss bleiben.
Das bleibt. Schneller kommen, das geht nirgends dahin.
Nein, wenn da liegt, kann er da mit diesen beiden nicht machen.
Dieser wird ungefähr hier. Durch hier.
Oder da
Nein,
kannst du noch mal streichen.
wenn ich zu voll treffe, rollt das hier, oder?
Also, wenn du hier bist, dann.
Nimm mit Timeout.
Timeout.
And now the Swiss will take their timeout.
Also wenn du Tabak spielst, dann bist du da. Hast dann einen Doppel, das zum Retten.
And we have our first final of the morning. Czech Republic gives Canada their first loss of the competition. Czech Republic came in with a record of 2 wins and 3 losses. They pick up their 3rd victory, surpassing their total from last year's championship. So big upset over there on sheet A.
Wahrscheinlich spielt er das, dann können wir auch. Vor allem hier drauf.
Moment, sind wir dann auch noch 6?
Ja.
Ich würde einen Freeze-Tap.
Kart machen bringt ja auch nichts. Der ist
Schneller da noch Tabak.
Frage ist, welches Tempo?
echt daher. Mit 12, oder?
I think everybody's in agreement that they want to tap it back. The question they've got is how hard do they tap it back?
Dann kann er einfach den anspielen.
Dann liegt er hier, dann liegt er so, dann kann ich ja nichts mehr machen. 12 würde ich spielen. Mit Streifen.
Ich würde ihn schnell spielen.
Und da brauchen wir unbedingt, wenn ich schnell spiele, habe ich Angst, dass der bis hierher geht.
Da klar, hier geht.
Ja, ist recht. Also, 12.
12, gut. 12, ist gut. Ich darf da nicht zu viel bewegen hier hinten, das brauchen wir noch. So.
So they've decided, and it was mainly a discussion about how hard to move that yellow one back.
Macht er, wenn ich noch vorbei schieße?
Decided they want to play about back 12. Just tap it back.
12, so dünn wie möglich.
Just move that yellow stone about a foot, enough to move the red shot stone. Live update for you as well over on sheet D. There, Switzerland lies 1. This is the last stone over on sheet D. Thomas Ulsrud of Norway with the hammer. Looking for the double takeout for the win. And there they go. And Norway will defeat China. So now those two teams are tied with a 4-2 record. Big victory for Thomas Ulsrud and Norway.
Swiss didn't hit theirs thin enough. They hit it a little thinner. It's exposed. They wanted to get it a little bit behind those two. Double opportunity here for Sweden.
They're able to pick the shot stone out. Sweden lies 3, trailing by 1 here in the 10th end.
Only need 2 to win. Looks like they're going to have to draw down. Freeze on top of that red one.
Aber er kann. Wie viel seht ihr an dem, Gempi?
Noch eine Minute.
Komm, 3-4.
So.
Mehr. Gut.
So, again, watching the time, down to 42 seconds. That should be enough. That's great. T-line needs to be played before the time runs out.
So he's good now.
So really needs to weld this to this now. It's looking a little long. That's very long. No, this is nothing. Edin doesn't even need to play his last. Yes, he needs to play his last one, but it's just going to be an easy shot.
Just needs to tap that yellow stone an inch to pick up 3 and the victory. That stone is wide open. Doesn't even need to stick around, just needs to pick it out. And there it goes. And that will be a 9-8 victory for Sweden here over Switzerland in the 9th draw. Sweden now, with those losses by China and Canada, will move into a tie for first place at 5-1. Switzerland will drop to 2-4.
A good comeback from the Swiss team. And just getting a final here. Russia takes 2 in the last end to beat Finland 7-6. Rick heads down to do an interview with Nicholas Eden. Switzerland giving up a big 5 in the 4th end. cost them dearly in this game. Swiss putting together quite a run in the second half of the game, only to lose it in the last end to the Swedes. And that'll hand the Swiss their fourth loss. Go to the fourth end. The draw, Swiss too close to the house. This allows Nicholas Hedin to play an angle raise into that mess and comes up after a measure with 5 big ones, taking a 6-2 lead in that end. After coming back into the game, Swiss here drawing to take actually the lead in the 9th with a score of 2. Needs to make full 8 foot. Does that nicely. And then again in the 10th end, a little hastily played rock where the Swiss skip leaves an exposed and easily removed counter, giving the Swedes a 2-point in the last 10 in the 10th end to take this game with a 9-8 score. And to the other games, big upset here. Czech Republic beating Canada 6-4, handing Canada their first loss. Finland loses 6-7 to Russia, and China loses 4-5 to Norway. Canada and Sweden now leading in first place. Scotland, China, and Norway at 4 wins each. Denmark, Czech Republic at 3 wins, and then Switzerland, Japan, USA, Russia, and Finland coming up last. Now to the interview.
Well, Nicholas, that wasn't easy, was it?
No, it wasn't. We had that 5-ender. That was a perfect end. We set up all the angles perfectly. But after that, we started to struggle a bit. Maybe the lead was too comfortable. And then they started playing really, really well as well. And we had some unfortunate mistakes and got close again at the end. And we had to make some really good ends and shots at the end to win it.
You really only had control, it seemed, over in 2 ends. The fourth, of course, was the first one. Tell me about that end and all the rocks in play, and you're in a good shape the entire end.
Yeah, we set up all the angles perfectly. That was probably the best end we've played so far at Worlds. All the angles were perfect, and we got a really good situation there. And then got lucky on his last one after I missed my run back. He missed his last shot as well, so we got a chance for 4 or 5. And yeah, that was supposed to be the game, but they came back on us, and we had to struggle, fight till the end to win it.
Now with China and Canada losing, you guys are tied for first. Your thoughts on your week so far?
It's been an up and down week. We've had only really one good game. That was against the Czechs last night. But I still think we're playing good enough to get the wins under our belts and reach the playoffs. And I think we're in a position where we can only grow stronger and keep making more shots. And if we can do that, I think we're in a good position to compete against the best teams in the playoffs.
Thanks, Nicholas. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That was an interview with European champion Nicholas Hedin, and that was it for this round of the Ford World Championships 2013 here live from Victoria. Hope to see you soon.